We talked about some of those other gaming giant companies out there, and so we do have some information on BetMGM as well. MGM.
Yeah, one of the first calls we've heard this year involving Entain, the BetMGM joint partner with MGM. Now, what we're trying to get into here with this is how do we see the year 2024 for this joint venture? Now, it's been an interesting joint venture over time. It's been reported many times that MGM has tried to buy Entain. DraftKings at one point tried to buy Entain. At this point, it appears to be a stable joint venture partnership between Entain and MGM, with BetMGM at 50-50. But there was some difference in the way that the two companies were talking about what BetMGM looks like here going forward in 2024. Early on in 2023, we heard Bill Hornbuckle, the CEO of MGM Resorts International, saying, yeah, we think the product is, pretty much where it needs to be. And by August of last year, the tune had changed a little bit to where there was some acknowledgement that maybe MGM and Entain had not adjusted to the American market quickly enough with their BetMGM product. If you remember, when this BetMGM product first launched, if we go back 5+ years, you still had European decimal odds being put out there to American customers, and that is fundamentally misunderstanding what you're doing and trying to get that product launched. Now, we saw BetMGM go back, they revamped the app, and now you also, importantly, have an interim CEO at the head of Entain who is looking at this and saying, you know what, this needs to be another investment year for us in BetMGM. We need to be able to put more resources in to have a better product to be able to compete in the U.S. market. And Matt, here we are. The anniversary of PASPA falling is within a month at this point. We're almost 6 years into the market, and I think we are pretty clearly at the point that many had talked about for these first 6 years, that there was going to come a point where product was going to be the differentiator, and you're starting to hear it from the companies that are trailing, right? You've heard it from Bally's, who's already on their 3.0, 4.0, who the hell knows what it's going to be for them, right? MGM has had to redo its product. Caesars has had to redo a lot of its product and move people over from the legacy Will Hill, especially in Nevada after the Super Bowl disaster they've had, and try to improve their product. And the one company, or I should say the two, that have not had to do that in the same way are the companies that were working on tech from long before the fall of PASPA and DraftKings and FanDuel.
Yeah, it is. And as we move into a more savvy market, Adam, as you mentioned, I mean, we're sitting here with still relatively new in all of this for some of the states out there. And, as we move into more savvy bettors and people like that they're going to care about the product. Yes, they're going to care about odds. And yeah, and as they learn more about all of that, sure. Can you get a better number here? Can you get a better number there? But, a lot of people are just going to use the app they like the best. And that's going to be the one that functions the best. They want to get the live odds in as soon as humanly possible. They want to get the in-game stuff flashing up there as soon as humanly possible. They want to be able to smoothly find what they're looking for when they get inside of the app and not have to search all over the place. And so, this is, like you said, this is kind of like as we continue on in this journey, right, it's going to become more and more important for these companies to make sure that the people who are becoming more savvy understand that, oh no, you can use our app. It's seamless. It's smooth. We got all these features. Look at this, yada, yada, yada. And it'll be less about the bonus bets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and maybe not even just price consciousness and things like that. You talk about ease of use in the UX, but also you have to think about it from the sportsbook side as well and think they've talked plenty about how do we improve our parlay mix? How are we best serving same-game parlays to people, making it easy for them to bet these high-hold products? How are we getting prepackaged SGPs in front of them, or how are we making it easy for people to bet not only SGPs but live SGPs as well? And I know that is something that sounds like fingernails on the chalkboard to experienced bettors, but as we have discussed many times on this podcast, that part of the product ain't for you.
Absolutely. It is. If you're the 1% screaming at the clouds, then it just kind of is what it is. 99% are the vast majority of everything.